At some point when the crop is harvested, you will want to add the harvested yield. Currently I'm on row crops plantings page. To add a harvest yield, we will need to click on the crop variety text for that planting. So let's click on it, and then in the form that opened up, first we will need to select the harvest method, how it was harvested, how this corn was harvested. And currently, if I click on it, there's nothing there. So that's because this is a new account and I don't have any harvest methods saved yet. So let me close this. And to add a new harvest method, we'll need to go to Administration, Harvest Methods. To add a new one, just click on the plus button at the lower right. So let's click on it. And here, so first we need to say this harvest method. Is it for row crops or permanent crops? And I'm going to select row crops. I'll give the harvest method a name. So it's going to be a green chop. Then I need to specify how I'm going to be recording that yield. So the number, there's going to be some kind of number I'll be inputting. What is that number? Is it count, pounds, or tons? For the green chop, that's going to be tons. And then I also can choose how I want to display that yield on a screen, wherever that yield will be displayed. By default, it's selected tons per acre, but I could also select like count per acre, hundredweight, or pounds per acre. But I'm going to leave at tons per acre. Next, if the harvested yield will need to be adjusted to a certain moisture percentage, I can specify that here. For example, for green chop, it's very common to adjust that weight to 70% moisture. So here I need to input that target, which is 70%. And down below, I can select additional fields which I will want to record with that yield. So for the green chop, I'll be recording field weight and moisture. The actual moisture reading will be needed if I want to adjust the weight to the target moisture. And that's about all the information I need to create a new harvest method. And I could also specify this last option, the background color for that harvest. For example, since this is a green chop, I'm going to select something greenish. Something like that. And click Save. And our new harvest method has been saved. So let's go back to row crops, plantings, and let's add a yield information to this corn. Click on crop variety text. And then in the form that opened up, we see that green chop is already selected, and that's because we have only one harvest method in our account. Next, we will need to input the harvest weight in tons. So that was 2,145. Moisture, and for now I'm just going to leave it at 70. And the harvest date is already pre-filled, and that's because I have that harvest date up here. And click Add. And the yield for this harvest is 28.22 tons per acre. And if I would need to modify this harvest information, I would just click on this harvest method name. And here I can change the yield information. For example, how about we actually bump up the moisture to 72%. And since we have that 70% target, now if I save it, so currently if you look at it, it's 28.22. The yield will drop a little bit because it was harvested at higher moisture. So let's save. And now the yield is 26.34. And if you would lower the moisture percentage down to, let's say, 68, it would go up to close to 30 tons. Yeah, and that's what that is. And there you have it. That's how you would add a harvest method in your account and use it for your harvested crops.